my top 5 favorite video game consoles of all time. Now, these aren't based on sales or what had the best graphics, the biggest video game library. It's purely based on my experience and growing up and what systems that I've had. So I'm sure mine's going to vary greatly from a lot of people's out there. But this is something that I've been thinking about for a while, and I've had a hard time ranking them. And I think I finally figured it out. And we're going to go from 5 down to 1. My number 5 favorite console of all time. I know this might be kind of a cop-out maybe, but I just couldn't decide between the two because I love them both equally. Number 5 is the Atari 7800 and the Intellivision are the first systems that I ever played in my life. My grandma had gotten the Intellivision, and we used to go over there and play that, and it used to have the system with the controllers almost like bungee corded tied to the machine, so you couldn't go very far. I think they were like maybe 2 feet. It had a round pad on it, and you had these overlays that would go into the controller, whether it be hockey or Pitfall or any other game, but they each had their own individual overlay, and it had a keypad. And I just have such great memories of that system and the Atari 7800 because we could play Atari 2600 games on it too. So for that reason, I have it at number 5. The first systems that I ever played, and my grandma was a video game connoisseur. I absolutely loved it. She was ahead of her time. She loved her video games. She loved Pac-Man, Burger Time. Loved her some video games. So number 4, Sega Genesis. I'll never forget the first time that I had played this system. A video store by my house, and video game stores and movie rental stores were very, very popular in the 80s and in the 90s. You could rent video games, and then the Sega Genesis came in and you could rent it out. And I want to say for like $15 or $20 a day, you could rent the system. I think they would give you 1 free game with it. They'd give it to you in this big protective case. It was like a huge briefcase. So when you were walking out with that thing, you felt like a big deal. And I remember getting it home. First game that I ever played was Hard Driving. And at the time, that game seemed so cutting edge and just so cool. The 3D graphics were unbelievable for the time. And then later on, a friend of mine, Joe, he broke his arm when we were riding our BMX bikes. So he was able to rent the Sega Genesis for a while. We got to play Joe Montana, all these different games. And I just remember being blown away. And then finally my next door neighbor, Adam, got it. We played Sonic. We played Joe Montana. We played every sports game, NHLPA. Man, that system had sports games on lockdown. It was such a huge step up from the NES. It had a lot deeper of options in the sports games that you could play. Incredible system. I love the memories of that one. That was the first console where I really was like, wow, these graphics are crazy good. So, number 4, Sega Genesis. Number 3, PlayStation 2. The hype and build-up surrounding this console, from what I remember, and for me personally, there's never been a bigger anticipation and wait for this console. This was the first one that I could ever remember. You had to know somebody at a Toys R Us, at a video game store. This thing sold out so quick. And I was fortunate enough to know somebody that worked at a retail store that sold games at Meijer, and I was able to get it. The first time I played it, a friend of mine had gotten it, and I remember playing 2 games, Madden and ATV Off-Road Fury. And for the jump from the PS1 to PS2, I think might be the second most graphically for me personally. It could do it all, man. It could play DVDs, it could play CDs. The technology for this and how good the games were and its longevity, I think might be the greatest of all the systems that have come out. PlayStation 2, it holds its place, I think, in the Mount Rushmore of systems. PlayStation 2, when it came out, just an absolute juggernaut. And everybody wanted to get one, and if they couldn't, they were going over to their friend's house to play it. Number 2, Xbox 360. Now this one's kind of interesting. This is a system that I wasn't fully sold on and wasn't really seriously considering getting it. And we were at the store, and my girlfriend at the time was like, yeah, you know what, get it, whatever. So I opened up a credit card to get it, and this was the original model. And I get it home, so excited, unpacked, get it out of the box. I turn it on, nothing. Well, that's weird. Maybe the cables aren't right. Red ring of death, right out of the box. First time purchase, and I was like, you got to be kidding me. And this was late at night too. It was 9 or 10 o'clock by the time we got home and got the system set up. I didn't know what that was at the time. Fast forward, I wasn't the only one that had that problem. Returned it, got another one. That thing lasted for years. And for me, that has some of my greatest memories for video games with my kids. We played SmackDown games, and more so the Lego games, Lego Star Wars, Lego Indiana Jones, Lego Batman, just a lot of really great memories that I have that are tied to that system that just makes it so special to me. So for that reason, the Xbox 360 for me is number 2. And number 1, the NES, Nintendo Entertainment System. And I think this was the first system that really was like a mainstream global phenomenon. And I think it surpassed anything that Atari and television and ColecoVision and any of those things did. The Ataris, they initially did bring families together, but this one really put it over the top. It had such a wide variety of video games, the technology of what you could do, and the depth of the games, whether it be a sports game or Zelda, Super Mario Brothers. Those were things that you just would never have gotten out of a previous system. And I just remember being blown away at this system. One of my first memories with this is playing Mike Tyson's Punch-Out at my grandma's house. Was my uncle, and his buddy was able to get to Mike Tyson. And I had never seen anything like that before. I'll never forget, for my birthday one year, I got Super Contra, which is an all-time great in itself. And then another year I got Superman, which is regarded by many as a horrible game. But for me, I do love that game. As bad as it is, I have incredible memories of that game. The Nintendo was the premier system, and it really put video games across the stratosphere as far as, TV, entertainment. You were seeing video games in movies. Heck, they made an entire movie to a video game launch, The Wizard. That essentially was one big Super Mario Bros. 3 commercial. But yeah, the Nintendo absolutely is on the Mount Rushmore, and maybe in a category of its own. Yeah, those are my favorite and top 5 video game systems of all time. So let me know what you think about the video. Some of your favorite video game consoles, if I left them off. If you agree, disagree, let me know what you think. So thanks for checking out the video, and have a good day.